This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what was the concept we are discussing yesterday?
A dead letter queue.
Dead letter queue. Yeah, I think we discussed about something, and yeah, we are discussing about the dead letter handler, dead letter header, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So the thing is, uh, so we are into the receiving queue manager QM2, and in the receiving queue manager we already configured a queue, dead letter queue called DQ2, and in the DQ2 there seems to be some messages, right? So the correct, oh, it's not QL2, it's DQ2, right? So in the dead letter queue, okay, there are 5 messages. So now we are about to troubleshoot, like how can we troubleshoot the dead letter queue stuff, right? That is what we are discussing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So before troubleshooting the messages in the dead letter queue, we need to understand few internals of dead letter queue. So they are, so reason codes we have discussed, and the dead letter queue architecture diagram we have seen, then yeah, dead letter header. So basically, whenever message comes to the dead letter queue, there is a person called dead letter header. So it's a small program which identifies the reason why the message arrived in the dead letter queue. So this is the first duty of a dead letter header. So for example, if you see this architecture diagram, so in this architecture, so here is the dead letter queue we have with the name DQ2. So whenever messages are landing into the dead letter queue, what the dead letter header will do is it will identify the reason why this message is getting failed. So this is first duty of dead letter header. Now, the second duty of dead letter header is if any message is failed and enters the dead letter queue, first the header will add the reason of the failure to the message header. Okay. In step 1, the dead letter header identifies the reason why this message is getting failed, and in step 2, the header attaches that error, attaches that reason of the failure to the message header, and then message will be landed in the dead letter queue. That is the second duty of dead letter header. Now the third duty is if any message coming out from the dead letter queue, the dead letter header removes the reason of the failure from the message header. So the final duty of dead letter header is like whenever a message is coming out from the dead letter queue, then the header will remove that reason of the failure from the message header, and now the original message will be placed into the actual destination queue. So these are the 3 duties of dead letter header. So I'm repeating again. The first thing is dead letter header identifies the reason why message got failed. Second thing is it will attach that reason to the message header. Third thing is it will remove that message, it will remove that reason of the failure from the message header while message is coming out from the dead letter. These are the 3 things of the dead letter header. So this will be completely taken care by queue manager itself. We have nothing to do with it. But we have to understand what is this dead letter header and what does it do. Now the second thing will, okay, how dead letter header works? Very simple. Whenever message comes to the dead letter queue, it will identify, sorry, dead letter queue, it will identify the reason of the failure, then adds the reason of the failure to the message header, and then whenever message coming out from the dead letter queue, then the dead letter header removes the reason of the failure from the message header. Fine. Now we need to understand one more thing that is called dead letter handler. So dead letter handler is also a small program which tries to reload the messages from actual destination queue to the dead letter. Oh, sorry. So the dead letter handler, what does it do is it will reload the messages to the actual destination queue from the dead letter queue. So for example, when there are messages in the dead letter queue, we have to run a program called dead letter handler, because dead letter handler have the only ability to push the messages from from dead letter queue to actual destination queue. So right now in our scenario, we have 5 messages in our dead letter queue. So our duty is whenever messages are there in this dead letter queue, application cannot process because application connects to the destination queues, not to the dead letter queues. So it's our responsibility, it's MQ admin responsibility. He has to run the dead letter handler program so that a dead letter handler push the messages from dead letter queue to the actual destination queue. So this is the purpose of dead letter handler. So to run the dead letter handler, there is a command. It's a operating system level MQ command. It means we have to execute that MQ command in the operating system level, not in the queue manager. So the command is run MQ DLQ, dead letter queue name, and then the queue manager name, so that the dead letter handler will start functioning into that particular dead letter. Now, whenever we run the dead letter handler using this particular command, then there is something called rules table will be opened. So in the dead letter handler, when we run it with the runMQDLQ, it will route us, it will give us a space to enter the rules in the rules table. So in the rules table, we have to manually enter the rule. So based on that rule, the dead letter handler will tries to push the messages. Now, what is this rules table? What is the syntax for this rule? What we have to exactly return? That everything we are going to discuss in some time. But right now, just remember, okay, so when we run the runMQDLQ command, it will give a prompt to enter the rules in a rules table, so that we have to manually write down the rule. So based on that, dead letter handler will start pushing the messages to the destination queues. Now let's talk about what is a rules table. So rules table contains set of rules. So whatever the rule is written on the rule table, based on that rule, dead letter handler push the messages to the destination queues. Okay, so based on the dead letter handler, based on the rules, the dead letter handler sends the failed messages from dead letter queue to actual destination queue. Okay, so got some idea about the theoretical part?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Okay, okay, fine. Now we'll go to the troubleshooting session. Okay. So letter Q troubleshooting. Okay. Now see. So in our environment, there is a dead letter called DQ2, and there are some messages. The message count is 5. Okay. So the thing is, in the real time, right now, for example, I'm working on my project and I'm doing some work, and all of a sudden I got an alert that hey, there are like 100 messages in our dead letter queue. So in our case, like you have 5 messages in our dead letter queue. Now the thing is, it's our responsibility. We have to figure out, we have to route these messages to the actual destination queue so that those will be processed by the receiving applications. Okay, now the thing is, there are messages in the dead letter queue. Now the question is, these messages should go to which actual destination queue, and how to troubleshoot, what is the main reason of this failure. We have literally zero clue, correct? Now the thing is, I need to start troubleshooting. Whenever messages are there in the trouble in the dead letter queue, it means it's not a normal situation, it's always a problematic situation. So there is something wrong in our queues configuration, there is something really bad, so that messages are routed to dead letter queue. Now we need to figure out that problem, and we need to route them to the actual destination queue so that those messages will be processed. Now let's see what are the steps we need to consider before troubleshooting dead letter queue. So step number 1 is,
Sir, before we start, just wanted to clarify one thing.
yeah,
Like it totally depends upon the application side only, right? The what the message is and how they want to transfer it. So it
yes,
like MQ will not reject any message and send it to dead letter queue if like apart from message, if video file is getting sent, then dead letter the message that video file will not get sent to dead letter queue, right?
no, it can send because uh, uh, see, although it is a video file, although it is a text file, although it is a PDF file, MQ will treat it as a one message only. Okay. So
Okay.
the thing is, the message should reach to the destination queue so that application can consume it. But if the receiving queue is having some problem, then it has to, that message should go to dead letter queue only. So MQ will route that message to the dead letter queue. It could be a video file, it could be a text file, it could be a PDF, whatever it is.
Okay. So there is no connection between what is the message and there is no connection between the network part, right, sir?
No, no, no connectivity.
Okay. Okay.
So dead letter queue concept is very simple. It is okay. So sending application is sending the messages. So remote queue, transmission queue, sender channel, receiver channel, listener accepted it, and the receiver channel tries to put in the receiving queue, but this receiving queue is having some problem. Message is not able to enter to this receiving queue. So as dead letter queue is assigned, queue manager route that message to particular dead letter queue. That's it. It could be any message. That's the only purpose of dead letter queue. You are protecting your message without loss. Now we have prevented our messages. We have prevented our 5 messages. Now we need to troubleshoot. Understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So to troubleshoot, I will do one thing. I will again go back to single window. Okay. So here is my dead letter queue. So the thing is, if I do display QL DQ2, my dead letter queue name, if I see caredep, right now on DQ2 there are 5 messages. So DQ2 is a dead letter queue for this queue manager. So the thing is, whenever there are messages in the dead letter queue, now we need to start troubleshooting. So for starting troubleshooting, there are some steps we need to follow. The first step is we need to identify the reason of the failure. It means why the messages came to dead queue. This is the first step. The thing is, there are 5 messages. Now, right now, I really myself don't know why the messages are there in the dead letter queue. I really don't know. I have no clue. The first thing is I need to identify the reason of the failure. This is step number 1. Now, step number 2 is going to be, once you identify the reason of the failure, take the appropriate technical action. So we have to take the appropriate technical action. So this technical action is completely depend on step number 1, which is our reason of the failure. So what is the reason of the failure you identified? Based on that, you have to take the appropriate technical action. So the thing is, see, when we want to start a troubleshoot, first of all, we need to figure out what is the exact trouble so that we can start troubleshooting accordingly. If you don't know the exact problem, you can't troubleshoot, right? So that is the reason, first of all, you have to identify the reason. When you know the reason, you will get a clarity. Okay, this could be the reason why message came to the dead letter queue. So based on that, you can take the appropriate technical action. So once you have taken the appropriate technical action, the final step is run the dead letter handler with rules table, so that message will be routed from dead letter queue to actual destination queue. So only 3 steps. That's it. First of all, we need to identify the reason. Second step is we need to take the appropriate technical action. Third step is we need to run the dead letter handler with the rules table so that message will be routed to the actual destination queue from the dead letter queue. Okay. Now the thing is, come to the step number 1. We need to identify the reason. Now, how to identify the reason? Where can we find the reason of the failure? Any guess?
We can run that MQ return code, MQRC command.
Of course, you can return the MQRC code, but MQRC code, what is the code you have to mention? You have to identify that reason code, right?
Yeah.
So my question is how to identify that reason code first. Like, yeah, you are right. So there will be again sub steps. So step number is going to be your MQRC, that reason code. But
can we find it in logs, dead letter error logs?
No, you can't. We are not in the log set.
You can, sir, you can check the message body.
You are very, very close. So the thing is, if you remember the dead letter header concept, in the header concept, what I have told, whenever messages are entering into the dead letter queue, then the dead letter header identifies the reason and attaches that reason to the message header. Correct? Now, when we browse that message, then we can identify the reason. As simple as that. So browsing is, we have not yet discussed. Today we are going to discuss. So the first step, I mean the step A in step number 1 is going to be browse the messages from the dead letter queue. So this is step number 1. So the question is how to browse the message. Simple. We know how to put and how to get the messages. So we will go to OPT MQM SAMP bin program and we will do AMQS put and AMQS get, so that message will be either put or get. Now we have to go to the same path, OPT MQM SAMP bin path. So there is a program called AMQS BCG, which is browse. It's a sample program already developed with the help of MQ. Now we need to browse the dead letter queue DQ2, which is in queue manager PM2. That's it. So when we run this command, the messages will be browsed from the queue. So for example, so I will go to OPT MQM SAM bin. Now if I do list here, out of these many sample programs, we already know about AMQS get program, and also we already know about AMQS put program. Now we are learning a new program, new command, that is called AMQS BCG, which means to browse the message. So the command look like this: AMQS BC. Okay, I will do one thing. So / AMQS BCG, and then your dead letter queue name, and then your queue manager name. So that message will be browsed from this queue. So this command is to browse the information, to browse the messages. That's it, nothing else. So even you can browse the message from the local queue as well. So here dead letter queue is a local queue only. So the thing is, I am browsing the message from the dead letter queue. Now when I browse this message, so MQ message contains two parts, right? One is header part, second is data part. We have already discussed this thing in the demo session, in the first session itself. Now when I browse it, yes, so when I browse it, it will display message part and then header part. Okay, something is executed. Now if I scroll up, there are total 5 messages in this DQ2. So it has browsed all the 5 messages. See, here is the place where we have executed the command. Now browsing is starting. Now we are browsing DQ2. Now it is browsing message number 1. Out of 5, the first message is getting browsed. So it will be having two things: message descriptor, which means header part, and then message, which means data part. So this will be message data and this will be message header. Okay, so what is a message header? A message header describes about a message, like which application has put the message, at what date, on what time. So the message is coming from which queue manager. Is it a persistent message? What is the priority of the message? What is the format of the message? So what is the message ID? Everything it will describe about a message, the metadata of the message. Now in the message, it is the actual message. So the thing is, the actual message will be in hexadecimal format. It's not a normal high-level language. It's a hexadecimal format. So being a MQ administrator, you really no need to understand what is your actual message. Okay, it's not required for you. We need only this thing, which is header part, for troubleshooting purpose. Okay. So this is message number 1. Now see, message number 2 is getting browsed. So this is the header part of message number 2, and this is the data part of message number 2. Now message number 3 is getting browsed. This is the header part of message number 3, and this is the data part of message number 3. Now message number 4. So header part of message number 4 and data part of message number 4. Now message number 5. So header part of the message number 5 and data part of the message number 5. And done. Your browsing program getting closed.
Yeah. So how many messages you can browse from the queue?
Yeah, n number of messages. If the queue is having 1 million messages, you can browse 1 million messages itself.
Okay, in Windows basically there are 500 message limit.
500 message limit means?
Like you can only browse 500 messages.
No, who told? Where did you read that?
I guess they have explicitly set that limit.
No. I don't think so. If the queue is having 1 million messages, when you can execute AMK's BCC command, all the 1 million messages will be browsed and displayed. For sure, I'm sure.
Okay.
500 limit, I don't know where did you read from. Is it in IBM documentation?
Not in IBM documentation. I have seen in real time. Like if 10,000 messages are there in my queue, I tried browsing that messages, then only 500 messages can be seen. First 500
No.
messages.
That might be your screen limit. Like when you execute AMK's BCG, are you using like this? Are you routing the output to any text file?
No, sir. I'm having front end, sir.
So see, if you have 10,000 messages, seeing all 10,000 messages in the front end, it's not possible, right? Because what is your screen size limit? Your putty session limit. It depends on that one also.
Okay.
So the recommended way is, what you will do is, if you have more than like huge messages, like 10,000 messages, right? You redirect that output to a text file. So /tmp /dq2 browse.txt.
Okay.
So what I will do is, the output of this entire command I am redirecting to this file.
Fine.
So if I do this, if I go to temp file list the content, see, I have this file with this size. If I open this file, see, I'm seeing message number 1 header part and then message number 2 data part. So you just try to execute the command like this and see, you will see all 10,000 messages.
Okay, sir. Command line through I have not checked, but like in front end I have checked in GUI.
Hold on, you mean from MQ Explorer?
Yes.
Oh, come on, you had to tell me that during itself. So in the MQ Explorer, is it Rahul or Sachin? The question is asking.
Sorry?
Rahul, you only okay. So the thing is, in the MQ Explorer, there is a limit. So for example, Explorer, do I have it? No. We have to change some setting here in the MQ Explorer.
Okay. So
okay,
there
I will
is a
show you
setting,
how to do that.
That is what I am asking.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
Yes, there is a setting in the MQ Explorer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that I will show you after this session, right? I will show you how to change the setting.
Fine, sir. Fine.
Okay. Now let's come to the dead letter queue. Now we have browsed the messages using this command. Now the thing is, why we have browsed this message? To identify the reason of the failure, right? Now the reason of the failure will be added to the message part by the dead letter header. That is what we have learned in the critical session. So the thing is, if I go to message number 1, so this is the header part and this is the data part. In the data part, you see this first line, it is having something called DLH. So DLH means dead letter header. It means the first line in the message that is added by dead letter header. This is not the actual message. From here onwards, it's the actual message, but this first line is the not actual message. This is added by dead letter header. So the thing is, in the dead letter header, in the first line, so there are some columns, right? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of these 8 columns, from right side, come to the 4th column. It means 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is the reason code. So the thing is, this message should go to QL2, which is in QM2, but due to this reason code, this message came to dead letter queue. That is the meaning of this entire line. So the target queue is QL2. It is clearly showing here. Dead letter header already mentioned it. So this QL2 is in QM2. But due to this reason, message came to the dead letter queue. Now the thing is 0308 is the reason code. But the thing is, this is in hexadecimal format. It's not in a normal decimal format. So 0308 is the hexadecimal. When we convert this hexadecimal to decimal, then we can identify the actual reason. So to convert hexadecimal to decimal, it's very simple. Open calculator in your computer. So when you open the calculator, so open the calculator in programmer mode. So for example, when you open, it will be simply like this in standard mode. So you just click this, go to programmer mode, and it will be like this. Now select the hexadecimal here. Now we have to enter that number, that hexadecimal number. So here 0308, right? So 0308. So how many digits it is having? It is having total 4 digits. 0308, right? So 0 is in first place, 3 is in second place. Again 0 is in third place and 8 is in fourth place. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have to enter like third digit, fourth digit, and then first digit and then second digit. It means 0803. That is the format we need to enter. So 0803. So this is the way how we have to enter in the hexadecimal format in the calculator, which is in programmer mode. So when I execute this, you see hexadecimal 803, decimal is 2051. So this 2051 is the actual reason code. It means due to the reason code 2051, the messages that should go to QL2, they have routed to DQ2 because of the 2051. Now we have identified the reason. So the reason is (2051). Now step number 2, we can enter. Oh yeah, it's 2051. Thank you. So now in step number 2, we can execute MQRC 2051 so that it will give you the complete description what is meant by 2051. So if I go to my server, let me close the file. MQRC 2051. So 2051 means MQRC put inhibited. Okay, so it means that the message should go to QL2 2051. It means put is inhibited for QL2. That is the reason message came to the dead letter queue. Now I got a clarity. What is the main reason for the failure, right? It's a put inhibited. So if I go to the queue manager QM2, if I go to QL2, which is my destination queue, why? So why I'm going to QL2? Because my dead letter header clearly says the message should go to QL2. But due to 2051 reason code, the message came to dead letter 2. So I will go to QL2. I see the put property. Why do I see the put property? Because I got the reason code 2051, which is put inhibited. See? Yes, put is disabled. Now I got a full-fledged clarity. Why message came to the dead letter queue? Now, as I got the clarity, now I can take the appropriate technical action. Now tell me, what would be the appropriate technical action for this kind of failure? What we need to do next?
We can enable the put property.
Exactly. So we need to alter put property of QL2. That will be the appropriate technical action. So the thing is alter QL2 put enabled. Done. Now it's been changed. Now see display QL2 put. Now put is enabled. Done. Now we have taken the appropriate technical action also. Now we are ready to run the dead letter handler so that message will be routed to the QL2. So before executing this, let me show you one thing. So right now, if I execute display QL2 current depth, so QL2 current depth is 0. But if I execute display QL DQ2 current depth, dead letter Q current depth is 5. Now our thing is we have to run the dead letter handler so that all the 5 messages from the dead letter queue that will be routed to QL2. It means after running the dead letter handler, the current depth of dead letter queue has to be 0 and the current depth of QL2 has to be 5 so that receiving application can consume the messages. So now as we have enabled the put now, it means message should definitely come to the dead letter, come to the actual destination queue. So to run the dead letter handler, command look like this. Run MQ DLQ, dead letter queue name, your queue manager name. Enter. So that we will be routed to the rules table. So now say come out from the queue manager, execute run MQ DLQ command, which is a operating system level command, DQ to QM2. Okay, enter. Now see, we are now into the rules table. So dead letter handler is not started. We are now into the rules table. Here we have to manually write down the rule so that based on that rule, we can run the dead letter handler. So the rules table, now we can type here anything. So here I am going to enter a rule. So the rule is like this. A dead letter handler rule will be having three things. Number one, reason. Number two, action. Number three, retry. These parameters it is going to have. So in the reason, we have to mention the actual reason code. Here for our messages, what is the reason code? 2051. So just to mention that. And then action, retry, put it like retry. And retry count is, let's put 3. You can put 2 or you can put 1, you can put 5, whatever it is. But generally, I used to give 3. 3 is a very good number. It means that, and then I enter button. So that the meaning of this rule is the messages which in the dead letter queue. So if any message failed with the 2051 in DQ2, do a retry, take an action of retry one time, so that all the messages that are failed with the 2051 which are in DQ2, these will be pushed to the actual destination queue. That is the meaning of 2051. Now let me try to execute this command.
But you should mention the queue name as well, right?
Not required. In this case, not required. In this case, not required. The reason is the dead letter handler already knows. Dead letter handler already knows, okay, this message should go to QL2. So that it will take an action to push the message onto QL2 only. So here you don't need to mention.
So okay. In which all cases we have to mention them?
Sorry?
In which case we have to mention the queue name as well?
That I will tell you. Give me one more moment. First of all, let me complete this scenario. I will come to that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, I am entering this rule. So copy, paste. Done. Rule has been entered. Once rule is entered, in our keyboard, we have to press Control D. So in the Linux operating system, Control D means we have to start that particular process. So Control C means terminating the process. Control D means starting the process. But in Windows, it would be Control Z. So here we are in the Linux operating system. So press Control D. Now in my keyboard, I am pressing Control D. Control D. See, as soon as I pressed Control D, it has given me some information. Dead letter queue handler started to process input queue DQ2. It means from DQ2, all your messages are now trying. So it is been started on this date, on this time. Okay. So right now there are only 5 messages in our dead letter queue. So I am damn sure by this time all these 5 messages must have been routed from dead letter queue to actual destination queue. But in the real time there would be thousands and millions of messages. So if there are really millions of messages in the dead letter queue, so please wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes so that all the messages will be transported. I mean, all the messages will be routed. Okay. Now I am pressing Control C so that this process will be terminated. No, not Control C. Control Z. Yeah. When I press Control Z, the process has been stopped. Okay. Now, if I go to Queue Manager 2, and if I check the depth of dead letter queue, see, now there are no messages in the dead letter queue. Now, if I check the depth of QL2, see, now my messages are routed to actual destination queue. So to this queue, application can connect and consume. Now we have successfully we have successfully troubleshoot a failure case from the dead letter queue concept. So getting a clarity about dead letter queue troubleshoot.
Sir, for this scenario, it's okay. There are many other scenarios like which I wanted to ask, but Sachin, if you are having some doubts in this. And you can.
No, you can go ahead if you want to ask.
Okay. Sir, we saw about the messages which are already there in dead letter queue, like the bulk messages. Now you have processed. What if we have to process one particular message?
No, you can't process based on message count. You can process only on based on the reason codes. If I want to process
Yeah,
only one
but
particular message, that option is not there.
so for one particular message we cannot process.
You mean to say out of 10,000 messages, we have to process only one message, right?
Correct.
No, I don't think so that option is there. We can process based on reason code only.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So,
And yeah, sir, please continue.
so the thing is, in the dead letter queue, there might be other reasons why message can enter. So, for example, right now we have seen 2051, which is a put is disabled for the target queue. And I will tell you one more common scenario in the real time. So, for example, if this queue got full, it means current depth equal to max depth. So, whenever, for example, this queue is having a max depth of, let's suppose 5,000, and queue reaches already a depth of 5,000. Now it's a queue full situation. Whenever 5,001 message and try to enter this local queue, it cannot enter because queue is already full. So that message will also route to the dead letter queue. At the time, the reason code is going to be 2053. Now we have to write down another rule. Reason 2053, action retry, and retry count is 3. So this is what I have to mention. It means whatever the messages that are failed with the 2051 and that are failed with the 2053. So it will do a retry on messages which are failed with this both reasons. So based on the reason code you found it on step number 1, based on that you have to construct your rule in the rules table. Okay. And when come to your question, Rahul, you asked me instead of routing to this okay, so instead of routing this QL2, for example, I want to route to a different queue, then the rules table look like this. Reason, let's suppose the reason is 2051 and action would be FWD, which means forward, and FWDQ you have to mention like QL5. So this is
So
the
then
command.
you are defining, right? Like these are predefined syntax somewhere, or this you have created?
Which one? These rules?
Yes.
These are predefined only. This is not I have constructed. In MQ, this is the only syntax you have to use.
Okay.
So these are not created by me. These are created by IBM itself.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So now when you execute, if you see this rule, the meaning of this rule, which I have highlighted, is the messages which are failed with the 2051, forward those messages to QL5. That is the meaning of this one.
Okay.
So
So you mean to say if the message is having in header, dead letter header, if it is mentioned QL2, but instead of QL2, if I want to transfer it to QL5, then I have to run this command.
yes, exactly. It's not a command, it's a rule. You have to write down this rule.
Rule. Yeah.
Right?
And let's say suppose sir, the same queue if I want to use, then no need to define a queue. You can directly transfer with the help of second or third line, first line.
Yes, exactly. With the help of action retry, you can do a retry. But with the help of action forward, you can forward to your customized queue.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, is there any not predefined max depth of dead letter queue?
What? Come again with your question.
Is there any max depth of dead letter queue?
Any match?
Max depth. Like there are dead letter queue is also a local queue, right? So
Yeah.
there must be some max depth of this queue, right?
So max depth, exactly. So you tell me, dead letter queue is what it is? It's a local queue only.
Yes.
So what is the default max depth of a local queue?
5,000.
That's it. You have the answer. So the thing is, if I go to display QL DQ2, dead letter Q is a normal local queue. What is the max depth? 5,000.
5,000. Okay.
So if
If
you want
this
to increase it,
breaches,
you can increase it.
if this breach, then
It means that message will be vanished.
okay. Okay.
Because see, for example, this destination queue got full, and so that message will be routed to the dead letter queue. And if the dead letter queue is itself a full one, then that message is going to be vanished. There is no guarantee for that. So that is the reason when we define a dead letter queue, it's always highly recommended that put the maximum depth, like alter q local dq2 max depth is going to be 999, 999, 999. So this is the recommended value for a dead letter queue, so that it can serve maximum number of messages. And also
Okay.
maximum message length also we will put it like 100 MB, because maximum is the 100 MB of a maximum of a message in MQ. So that's how we have to construct our dead letter queue. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now I will tell you one more rule. So the thing is, for example, somehow you are not able to identify the reason, because like you don't have time, to browse the messages, you don't have open the calculator, you don't have do all these things. I will tell you one simple reason, one simple rule. Reason, put star, action, retry count 3. That's it. So you no need to perform step number 1. So 95% of the cases this will solve your issue, because in my real time, if I get any alert, hey, your dead letter is getting full, your dead letter is having some messages, blindly what I will do is I will execute this command. 95% this is going to solve my problem, because in the real time the messages come to the dead letter queue due to queue full situation, which is 2053. As soon as consumer application consume the messages, the queue will be getting emptied. So by the time we got the alert, the consumer application must have consumed the messages. So when I execute this reason star, whatever the reason, it will try a retry. So 95% of the cases it will fix the issue. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So like this, you can write down n number of rules here. There is no limit. So 2051, 2053, reason star, like, but most common reasons are 2051 and 2053. Okay.
So retry 3 means 3 times it will retry, sir.
No, the thing is, first it will try. If first time it got failed, then the dead letter handler try for second time. If second time is also failed, it means in second time also messages are not able to route to actual destination queue. Then dead letter handler try third time also. If third time is also it got failed, then it won't try. It will stop the dead letter handler. That's it. Message will again fall back to dead letter.
Okay.
That is the meaning of retry. If I put retry 1, it means dead letter handler tries only once. If it is success, it is success. If it is failed, then message will again fall back to dead letter queue. So, but generally, I love to give 3.
Is also valid for forwarding the messages?
Yes. If you put like retry 3, this is also valid for forwarding the messages.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
All right. So that's all with the dead letter queue. Now, Rahul, come to your question. In MQ Explorer, how can I change the number, right? So now I don't have MQ Explorer in my system. So let me install it. I think it will take just 5 minutes. So if I go to
sir, MQ is freeware? No, right? It's licensed, right?
Sorry.
MQ
Of
server
course, in the real
license
time,
is.
MQ is a licensed machine.
So the software what you gave us, the RPM packages, those are downloaded from internet itself.
Yes, those are downloaded from IBM site itself, because it's a trial version which is valid for only 90 days. After 90 days, your software is no more valid. You have to uninstall it again. You have to reinstall that software.
Okay.
That's it. That's why it's called as a trial.
Okay, okay, sir.
So,
Sir, you have logged in, like you have login IDs for IBM website.
I have. You can have your login IDs. It's simple. Your Gmail account only. Your Gmail ID, password. That's it.
Okay, okay.
Where is my Explorer? Explorer. I have an MQ Explorer software somewhere. Windows. I think I okay. Let me try to install this. Oh no, man! It's in my Google Drive itself. Hold on. MQ Explorer. Yeah, here it is. MSOD. Okay. Let me download it. No. Okay. Let me download this. Download anyway, so that it will be downloaded to my system. This is the size. Okay, Rahul, I will do one thing. Today I will install the MQ Explorer, and tomorrow I will show you the option how to increase the size from 500 to
It's
more.
fine, sir. I am having
Okay.
access to MQ servers. I will check at my own. Fine, sir. No issue.
Sorry, your voice is.
Sir, I am having access to
Okay,
MQ
sure then.
server
So that's
in
all for today.
my organization.
So with this, we have completed dead letter queue also. Now, tomorrow we are moving to logs concept, error logs and transaction logs. After that, we'll go to the security. Okay, fine. So logs will take around 3 days, and cluster will take around 3 days. Yeah, Rahul.
Okay, sir. I am saying I am having access
Rahul,
to
can you hear
MQ
me?
server in my organization. I will check at my own.
Sachin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Rahul, I can hear you.
Okay. Sir, I am having access to
Rahul,
the
your voice
MQ
is
server.
breaking. It's not clear. No. Okay. So that's all for today. We'll meet tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, I'm saying we'll connect tomorrow.
Yes, sir.